Replay. Step 1. Define your client's journey. Episode 218. Are you ready to make your law firm a profit-generating machine that will free up your time and skyrocket your impact? With more than 2 decades of business growth experience and having proven that you can be successful while prioritizing your family and your impact, introducing the Profit with Law podcast. I am your host, the creator of the Firm Differentiator 10X Effect, Moshe Amsel. Well, hello and welcome to another episode of the Profit with Law podcast. I'm your host, Moshe Amsel, and today I continue the information product series that we're releasing, replays from May and June of last year. This is the first non-interview episode. So I released 3 episodes that were the first 3 steps in this process that you want to follow to figure out how to implement information products in your law firm. And today I'm going to talk about step 1, defining your client's journey, and why that's important and how to navigate that for yourself. So you definitely want to listen. This is an actionable episode. It's something that you should be able to walk away from with having defined your client's journey, and then be able to get to the next step, which is going to be tomorrow when we talk about where is the gap. Now, if you want to join us for a full day of training and information and learning on how to implement information products as a side business, as a practice area, as a way of circumventing your marketing efforts, definitely you want to join us for the Hidden Revenue Summit coming up on June 15th. Go to profitwithlaw.com/hidden revenue, profitwithlaw.com/hidden revenue. If you're listening to this after June 15th, don't worry about it. You want to go there anyway, because we're going to have all the replays posted there for you to peruse and go through at your convenience. Hope to see you on June 15th, profitwithlaw.com/hidden revenue. Here we go with that replay. Today is, another beautiful Tuesday. I am actually not recording this on a Tuesday, but when you're listening to this, if you're listening to it the day it's released, it is a beautiful Tuesday. But we're in the month of May, and the month of May is one of those months that just brings excitement to the air. Spring, summer, the days are getting warmer, the days are getting longer, and just the call to spend time in the outdoors is just there every single day. And I am blessed. I am blessed that now in this time of social distancing and, things being different, the kids are home, and my wife and I have split our day. So I work in the morning generally from 9 to 1, and she works in the afternoon from 1 to 5. And what I have been doing is just going outside with the kids in the afternoon, and it's just been a blast to be out there. If they had been in daycare, I'd be working through the beautiful weather and missing out on it all. So I'm taking notes, because even when daycare reopens, I don't know, maybe I can stay in this mode of working in the morning and being with the kids outside in the afternoon. But my wife and I were discussing, really my wife was discussing with me, this was her driving the conversation. She doesn't like me blaming it on her, but she is an avid lay in the sun person, gotta go to the beach, gotta go to the pool, and we don't have a pool in our backyard. So last year we got pool passes to a local pool, and we spent a lot of time there during the summer. So now we can't go to the pool, and she was just distraught. What are we going to do about summer? So she went and found, there's a brand called Intex that makes these above ground pools that are really easy to assemble, but they're like real size pools. I got a 9 foot by 18 foot rectangle above ground pool. It's 52 inches tall, so it's like 4 feet of water, and it was really just as easy as advertised to set it up, and now it's set up in the backyard. She was really, she persevered with this one, because the local stores were all sold out, but there was a local store that basically would get them in, and then as soon as they got them in, they would fly out the door. So she was calling them 4 times a day to see when their shipment would arrive. And then finally, this past Thursday in the morning, she called and they said, yep, we got a couple of pools in and we have a shopper that's been doing shopping for us. And she called the shopper and she immediately went over there and there was literally only one left. So we're lucky to have it. But now it's all set up. And we also had an inflatable hot tub that had a hole in it that we hadn't used for a couple of seasons because I just didn't feel like patching the hole. So now we spent the time patching the hole, and now we've got this backyard oasis with a swimming pool and a hot tub. And I am just super, super excited to dip into those. They're being shocked right now with chlorine. So it's going to be a couple of days before we can actually get into them. But that's what's exciting and going on in my world. So I wanted to share that with you. Also, in episode 96, if you missed that one, I introduced the idea of information products as being a part of your law practice. And we are going to focus on this for a month. So for the next month, I am going to have guest interviews. I'm going to have topics I talk about that are all related to adding another revenue stream to your business, which is information products. So I encourage you to go back and listen to episode 96 because in this episode, I'm going to start talking about how to do that. So I'm literally going to be sharing with you this. I don't know if it's going to be step by step, but the broad strokes of what you need to do in order to implement this in your law practice. And it might be too early to announce it, so I'm just going to tease it here. I have been talking with one of my coaching clients who would like to implement an information product in her law practice. And we've been talking about possibly, and I'm not saying anything for certain because we need to firm up the schedule and make sure it's all going to work out. But we were talking about possibly in 4 weeks going through a process to help her implement and sell an information product within her law firm. And if we do it, we will do it with you live. So there is going to be a one-day summit on June, I think it's June 15th. I should have put that date in front of me. Let me look at the calendar real quick. If June 15th is a Monday, then that's it. Yeah, June 15th. We're going to be hosting a one-day summit, absolutely free, that is going to go through a lot of this stuff, information products, understanding how to implement it into your law practice. But there's a ton I'm going to be providing on the podcast, and also what I plan to do is I plan to go live on the Profit with Law Facebook page and into the Law Firm Growth Summit Facebook group. So you want to make sure that you're either following, like my page, Profit with Law, or join the group, Law Firm Growth Summit. Now, when you go to join the group, if you do not provide your email address and answer yes to the questions, there's 2 questions that you're asked when you go to join the group. If you don't provide the answers to those, you will not be accepted into the group. So if you want to be in the group, make sure that you answer those questions. So if you're in the group, you'll get notified that I plan to go live, when I plan to go live. When I go live, you'll get that notification, and I'm literally going to be doing screen sharing. We're going to walk through this process together. So you're going to see literally step by step how I take her from idea to execution to implementing that product. So stay tuned for more information on that. I am debating whether to also convert that into audio and make it podcast episodes. I don't know if it's going to be too much for you guys who are listening, or if I should do it. So I'm debating that, and I will let you know. But regardless, if we do this, we potentially might have our very first live broadcast on Tuesday night at like 10 p.m. Eastern. So Tuesday night, May 19th at 10 p.m. Eastern. So you definitely want to make sure that you like the Facebook page or join the group. Stay tuned because we might actually do this. Now, if we do, all these live streams are going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern, most likely, which is the time that doesn't conflict with either of our businesses, and we don't need to worry about scheduling conflicts and things like that, and we could just pick a bunch of them and put them on the calendar. So if that time doesn't work for you, don't worry about it because it'll be there. But not only that, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to bundle all of that together into a neat little product that you can get access to maybe when you join the one-day summit. Maybe if I got to see where I'm going to bundle that in, but you most likely will have access to it as a completed product that you can watch and binge on. So that is the exciting news. Oh, so make sure that if you want to join us on June 15th, make sure that you sign up on the waitlist page. Go to profitwithlaw.com/waitlist, profitwithlaw.com/waitlist, and sign up there. Okay, that's the intro. Oh my goodness, we're already 9 minutes in. So I'm going to keep this one brief for you because that was a lot. Here's the deal. When you want to grow your practice and really, really succeed with rapid results, you have to have a niche, a niche, however you pronounce it. You have to have a niche. In episode 29, I made the case why choosing a niche will skyrocket your firm. I made the case for why you need a niche. Now, let me just explain to you what that means. What does a niche mean? A niche doesn't mean I am a estate planning attorney. Okay, that's a practice area. A niche and a practice area are two different things. A niche means that I have clearly defined the target client that I am going to work with so clearly that I can go out there into the marketplace and speak in a marketing conversation and attract that person. That's when you know you have a niche. So for example, let's say that you are a criminal attorney. Well, there's all kinds of crimes that you can represent. And some people are known, like they are top-notch criminal attorneys that have the art of manipulating a jury and manipulating the prosecution, and they are, like the cases that they take are the murder investigations, or maybe it's white collar crime that they're defending. I don't know, right? But they're known for one thing, right? And if somebody, let's say, is charged with murder, are they going to go to the person who is also doing traffic court, who's also doing DUIs, or are they going to go to the person who is known for acquitting people who were charged with murder? And you obviously know the answer, right? It's the same concept with a doctor, right? If you have a brain tumor, are you going to go to your general practitioner for surgery on your brain, or are you going to go to the top neurologist? And the answer is simple, right? You're going to go to the top neurologist. So you have to become known as the attorney for X. Now, the easiest way to choose a niche, especially if you're business to business, is identify an industry. So identify an industry, identify a stage of business, and you're off to the races, right? So you have your practice area for this industry, this size business, and boom, there's a niche, right? Estate planning. It's business to consumer, right? Not business to business. It's just an example. Criminal is another example. Identify a demographic that you serve. So with estate planning, identify whether you serve the elderly. Are you serving them in post-retirement? Are you serving people who have young children, people who have almost nearly grown children, people who are empty nesters? There's different stages in life where they need an estate plan at all of those stages, but you can speak to one of those. You can't speak to all of those in a marketing conversation. It will never work. It will fall flat. You will not attract them. But if you become the go-to estate planning attorney for young family millennials, millennials with just having kids, and you can talk to them about what life is like to have babies and toddlers, and and you can get involved in that conversation, and then insert into that conversation, what if, God forbid, something happens to you? Do you have a plan? Who's going to watch your kids? Who's going to take care of them? How is that going to be paid for? And you can enter that conversation if you're having the other conversation, right? You have to be entering the conversation they're already having in their mind. And you can only do that if you're literally in their mind. You're literally talking to that person. So you must have a niche in order to now figure out, where can I insert information products into my into my repertoire of what we offer. Because if you don't have a niche, information products are not going to be successful. You have to be able to go out there and be the attorney of this practice area for this particular market, this particular industry. And now you can offer information products on top of that. So the very first thing is you have to choose your niche. I talk about it in episode 29. I kind of glossed it over here as well. I can't stress it enough. This is absolutely the number one thing you need to do. Once you have this identified, once you know what your niche is, now we can start to look at your client. And we want to look at your client and say, okay, what is the pain point that they have? What is the struggle that they have? Now, they might not even know that they have this struggle. Like, for example, in our estate planning example, a young family with really young kids might not recognize that there is a danger of not having an estate plan. They might not recognize that there is a possibility that both parents have some accident where they become incapacitated or die, and therefore their children or child is not going to be able to be cared for by them, and they have to have a plan for that. And they don't know that they have that pain point, but as soon as they become aware of it, it becomes a true pain for them. It becomes something that is pressing, that needs to be resolved, needs to be taken care of. And your job, especially when you're selling information products, is to open up their eyes and allow them to see that. Okay. And when the natural positioning of information products, especially for your first time doing this, is on the front end. So if you look at your client journey, look at their pain points. So let's stick with our example of an estate planning attorney with, targeting these young parents, which is a target market that's probably not really targeted by estate planning attorneys, right? So you're targeting a different demographic than what everybody else is, which means you've cut yourself a nice little sliver of the pie of people available, and you have a lot of potential there. Well, I can tell you that most likely, if you enter the conversation that they're having in their head, if you make them aware of the pain point, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to look at, okay, how do I do this by myself? They're not going to recognize that there's value or a need for them to use you as an attorney, right? And if you make them aware of the pain point, and then the next question that they're asking is, okay, how do I get this done? And they search that on Google and they find a DIY kit to do it, you've lost them, right? So instead of trying to divert them into a consultation where you're going to convince them that they should use you, why not position a piece of training that you can sell them that's going to teach them how to do it themselves? And then in that training, you can lay out all the different scenarios where they would probably want to have an attorney do this for them. And all throughout this, you are the one who is instructing them. You're the one who is giving that information, and therefore you're the one that they're going to want a consult with when they decide, well, let's see what it's going to cost us to have an attorney do this. And now you're even better positioned because you can now take the amount of money they spent on that information product and roll it into the cost of the service you're going to provide, because it didn't cost you anything to provide that information product. So you can easily do that and have it make business sense for you. But what's going to happen is that there are maybe out of every 100 people that need an estate plan, there are maybe like 50 of them that don't do anything, and maybe 40 of them that figure out how to do it themselves, and 10 of them that go and use a lawyer. So instead of only getting 10 clients, you're going to get the 40, and then you're going to convert from those 40. You're going to get 50, and you're going to convert from that 50, 10 of them to be service-based clients. So you're going to make money on all 50 of those instead of only on 10 of them. And the beautiful thing is that information products are something that you do once, you do the work once, and it keeps paying you and paying you and paying you. So you're just selling it and reaping the rewards of that sale, and you're not needing to actually do the work. So there's a beautiful combination here of business models that, when they align together, position you to have a tremendously successful law practice that doesn't need to grow by just the number of clients coming in the door, right? You don't need to bring all these service-based clients. You don't need to bring all these new cases to come through your system. You could just sell information products to fill a gap, fill a need, and get more of those clients that you're losing right now. So the purpose of this episode is to help you figure out what's your niche, and then what is the information product that you can insert onto the front end of the conversation. So if you look at your target market and you say, okay, this is the pain point that they have, this is what we solve, what happens in between them having the pain and them getting the solution from us in the law firm? What is the journey that they take? And how can we put something into that journey that's valuable, that's going to get them across the path, that we can charge for, we can do it easily, and there is your idea for your information product. That is where you're going to start. Now, what is an information product? Why do I keep calling it an information product? It's confusing for people who do IP. I had somebody who listens to the podcast, send me a whole email about how they do IP. This is not protecting your intellectual property. Okay, that's not what we're referring to. What we are referring to is courses, membership sites, group coaching, anything like that, where you're providing your knowledge in some format that is scalable to take multiple people through it, where you're not actually doing the work for them. And there's a ton of examples, but if you've been tuned into my world at all, we have a ton of information products that we do. So we have our Law Firm Growth Incubator, which if you want to join that's profitwithlaw.com/incubator. It's $97 a month. It's designed for the attorney who's 0 to 250K in revenue and is doing most things themselves, and they want support in doing that. And we have a weekly call. We have a marketing call. We have a technology call. We have a business practice management, business operation, finance call. And then we also have a Q&A or a guest expert on that fourth call. We do a call every single week. We also have some foundational content that's being released in there. So that's a membership, and it's $97 a month, but it's positioned to fill a need. It's filling a gap. See, I do a group coaching program. I do the 90-day law firm turnaround, which is at the middle level of support. It's a $6,500 program, or maybe it's $7,000 now. We keep changing the pricing on that. But so let's say it's a $7,000 program for 90 days. Now, if you're in your infancy with your law firm, $7,000 might just not be something you can afford. So I have a product positioned for the person who can't afford that. And then I have that offer for the person who can afford that, and take them through that. And then I only offer ongoing group coaching to people who have gone through the 90-day program, to people who have completed it, because they have a plan. And therefore we have a place to coach from. We have something to look at and say, okay, are you following your plan? Are you taking the steps you need to take in order to get to the goal that you want to get to? And by the way, if you want to join the 90-day Law Firm Turnaround Group Coaching Program, you need to book a free coaching call with me. We do that. It's my filter. It allows me to figure out whether you're a good fit for it, and it allows you to go through the process of really understanding what it's like to be on the other side of a coaching conversation with me and see if that's a good fit for you. So if you want to take advantage of that, go to profitwithlaw.com/free coaching. And I did not intend for this to be me promoting all of our various entry points and touch points, but my point is that those are different examples of information products. So one is a membership, one is group coaching, and those are two examples. And then we recently did a full-day workshop called Get Clients Now. Now, that was a workshop delivered live that we sold for $97. And it was a full day, so it was like an 8-hour event. You got 8 hours hands-on workshop for $97, which was a no-brainer for a lot of people. But what we did is we now turned that into a recorded product. So I don't know that I would call it a course, but it's a pre-recorded workshop that we're going to turn around and continue to sell for $97. And that's just another entry point into our world. So there's so many different ways that you can go with this. The sky's the limit. So it really, rather than trying to figure out how you're going to position it yet and how you're going to package it and what's it going to be called and, all of that, the first thing that you need to do is just identify where is your ideal client, where's your your customer at in their problem, and what is the journey that they need to take to get that problem fixed. And let's find the very first stop in that journey and figure out if that's something that we can educate them in a valuable way that's going to take them to the next step and charge them for it. And if we can identify what that is, you're off to the races in creating your information product. So I'm going to end it here, and I'm just going to ask you to just take some action on this. Think about it, and start to think about whether this is for you. There's going to be a lot of things that come up for you, like, oh my goodness, do I have to get behind a camera? Do I have to put my face on a camera and talk to people? I don't like the way I look on a camera. This sounds like a lot of work. Well, if it sounds like a lot of work, come and join me on these live streams. And yes, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be overwhelming. But the reality is I'm going to show you that this is doable in just a few hours a day for, over the course of 4 weeks. So you totally can do this. You can do it on your own. You don't have to go and hire a big consultant or anything like that. This is something that you can easily just execute on. As far as not looking good in front of a camera, there's so many different ways to go about that. You could just do a PowerPoint slide with your voice being recorded and not have your face on camera at all. I like face to camera. I like being personable. I like when people can relate to me. So I wouldn't encourage you to do that, but there's definitely courses that are delivered that way. You can do not even you recording the audio, but you can script it and have a professional voiceover, record it. I wouldn't recommend that. That could get really expensive, but there are options. There are ways around it. So, notice that whenever you have resistance, whenever something feels different, feels hard, too good to be true, and you start to discount it, that's resistance. And when you see resistance, that means that you're onto something. That means that you need to dig deeper. So don't just walk away from this when you feel that little bit of resistance. Oh, and another thing that I've heard and can come up from law firm owners is I don't know if I could do this ethically, right? I don't know if my code of professional conduct would allow me to give legal advice just carte blanche like that, without attorney-client privilege, without a conversation with them. So for that, I would definitely say that this is, understand that this is an educational piece, right? You're teaching them about the law. You're teaching them about the things that they need to do. You're not giving them specifics about their specific issue. And you can put whatever disclaimers you want in there. There's definitely a way that in probably every single state in the 50 states of the U.S., you can implement this without being in any sort of conflict with the rules. But that is not my forte, right? That's your job. So go do your research and see if there's any problem with it. And obviously, you can have two attorneys in the same state, and one would say, oh, no, we're not allowed to do this. And the other one would say, no, we can. So, all of these are up for interpretation. You interpret it the way that you want. And, if you feel that you can't do it, then it's not for you. That's okay. But I would encourage every single one of you, whoever's listening to this, not to ignore this opportunity, because when we're done, by mid-June, when we go through that one-day summit and having done all these podcast episodes, you're going to be very, very well primed to implement this into your firm. And I wouldn't be surprised if you don't double, triple, or quadruple your revenue in 12 months by simply adding an information product on the front end. Because the information product is going to, first of all, it's going to be a massive source of revenue for you. There's a huge potential. Let's say you price a course at $1,000, right? If you bring in 100 people throughout the year, that's less than 10 a month into that information product. That's another $100,000 of revenue in your law practice. And then if 10% of those people, that's 10 new clients, right? 10% of them turn into a regular client for you. Let's say that you normally charge $5,000 for an engagement. So you already collected $1,000. It's another $4,000. It's another, 4 times 10. That's another $40,000 of revenue. So that's, $150,000 in revenue just from 10 just from 100 of those information product sales. And that's just a low example of what's possible. There's so much possibility out there. So definitely go and think about this, and we're going to come up with the next step next week. So stay tuned, and stay tuned for more information on this potential demonstration on live stream. The only thing that's waiting on is for me to map out exactly how many calls we need to do, and create a schedule for that, and get it, and just have us both look at our calendars to make sure it's going to work out. So it's practically a done deal, but I just need to make sure that that works out. So again, stay tuned for that. If you're on the wait list, I will send an email to the wait list and let them know that we're on for this, and let you know what time and how to connect so that you can be there with us live. So definitely you want to go to profitwithlaw.com/waitlist and join the wait list for this, for our one-day summit in June, but you'll also get notified about this. And that's it, folks. Really excited about our upcoming guest episodes. We've got a huge lineup of guests. We're like, for the first time ever, we have like 12 or 15 weeks of guests in the hopper and queued up and already ready to go. So it's really exciting. We're gonna have no shortage of guest episodes to bring your way. And I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you being tuned in to us. And if you can take a moment, and in your podcast player, just go and give us a rating and review. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely amazing. We can really use those ratings and reviews. It's looking a little shabby there in the rating and reviews department. So if you can take a moment out of your day and do that, that would be absolutely great. That is the end of the replay episode, and hopefully you have enjoyed the information. Hopefully you actually learned from it, were able to identify something within your business, defining your client's journey, and you are well on your way to being able to identify where is the place that you can most effectively implement information products for your clients, for your target market. And I hope that you're going to be joining us for the Hidden Revenue Summit coming up on June 15th. Go to profitwithlaw.com/hidden revenue, profitwithlaw.com/hidden revenue, and hopefully I will get to see you shortly. Take care. That's it for this week's episode of Profit with Law. If you have enjoyed the show, please consider sharing it with at least one person. Imagine how many lives we can change if we each shared this episode. Another way to share the episode is on social media. We appreciate your support and look forward to you joining us again next week.